Is it on this Pink Clouds network too? All right. Hey, good morning, everybody, or almost afternoon. This is This Pink Cloud that you're tuning into. This is Season 2, Episode 22, out here in lovely Frisco, Texas at Venture X, while I stall to give Weston time to press buttons and be magical. Anyway, guys, so we're a show about, sobriety, recovery, all that good stuff. I got my buddy Sean Dunn in today.
Howdy.
He is affiliated with NA as a member, and, we're going to talk about NA. We're going to talk about his story. Real quick, while Weston already has these pulled up, we do have these shirts that are going like hotcakes. These are all available at djkellyreverb.com. So that's djkellyreverb.com. And then it's the /shop. And if not, you can just hit the shop button on there. But we have the rainbow one. I don't know where we just you kind of went fast for me there, Weston. I didn't even get to. That's and back. Those are all the backs of the shirts, which look great. Okay, so there's one shirt, the standard This Pink Cloud shirt, and then we have the next one, which is the rainbow one. And then, do you have the rehab one with the chair, or is it missing?
Might be missing.
It's MIA. Well, anyway, they can go on the website and find it, right? Yeah. So anyway, I know it's up on the website. Also, if you noticed, I want to give props out to our lovely sponsor, which is Summer Sky out in Stephenville, Texas. So that is summersky.us, and their number is 888-857-8857. Once again, that is 888-857-8857. Also, trying to push the YouTube channel. So if you can, please do your good deed for the day. Go to thispinkcloud.com. It'll route you to the YouTube channel, and you can subscribe. And it's free. It's free. There you go. That's all we got. So I'm excited to talk to this guy. We haven't talked to him in a while. It is the Professor Nolan, and if you follow the show, he was the co-host of the show with me, and then he had a bit of a relapse. So I know Nolan's live with us, but can you go ahead and play that video that we had prepped, and make sure the audio is up on it. And this is Nolan before. There we go. So just go ahead. Well, that's the actual video portion, but let's see if we can do it. Weston's wheels are turning.
I'm confused. Give me 1 second. I'll get it.
Okay. Well, I mean, we can always just scrap that idea. I knew it was going to be a challenge to play a video.
I know. I don't know why audio is not working. We can hear Nolan, but we can't hear this video for some reason.
Right. Do you...
I can pretend.
Yeah, you can mouth it. You can pantomime.
Yeah, let me put some dirt on my face.
Yeah.
Try and look pathetic, and then I'll just recreate it.
Right. Sweet. Let's see. Any luck with that, Westonian?
And then
There we go.
A little static.
Yeah. Well, just crank it up and hit it from the beginning again.
Okay.
So, excuse us with the technical difficulties, but that's how we roll. So here is Nolan before.
I was telling you, Kelly, it's funny. The best way I can say it is, my thinking is weird. It changes from time to time. If I'm not participating in recovery, my thinking will change without my permission or my or me being aware of it for that matter. And then also, if I put any sort of substance into my body, my thinking will change without my permission or without me being aware of it.
Sure.
If you had asked me the day before I relapsed, well, first off, are you planning on relapsing anytime soon? I would have been like, no. Why would I do that? And also, if you had asked me, would you get honest about it? Reestablish, hop back on the horse? I would have been like, yeah, absolutely.
Right.
But things changed once that stuff hit my body, I guess, and I decided to try and keep it a secret for a little over a month.
And there we go. Hey, we did it. We did it, but staticky, so sorry about that. But now we can cut to the new and improved professor, if we have him on. Ah, there he is. Look at that guy. Look at that beautiful face. All shaven or somewhat shaven and looking like you're not in a rehab facility drinking coffee, being the professor that we know and love. Do you have his audio up too? Yeah.
Yeah, I was muted because I'm good at live.
I gotcha. All right, so Nolan, let's take him from kind of where you were. You were go ahead.
Longer.
Like
so.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, that video that I think that was true during the time of that video, about a month to 6 weeks, somewhere in there. But I kept at it for another month or so until I went into treatment some 25 days ago.
Right. And the reasoning behind that was because you had to just get high really good one last time, or was it I was trying to catch up on my bills and then I'll go in.
You assume I need some reasoning. That's a silly assumption by you, Kelly.
Right. Sorry about that.
No, I don't know. I mean, no, the real answer is I have passed by a point. That was somewhere in my early 20s where I was able to stop without being locked up in a facility of some sort.
Sure.
I lost that ability a good 18, 20 years ago. So, no, I don't stop until I'm locked up in a facility. And I was definitely trying to, the motivation was good. I was trying to take care of some stuff before I went into treatment, thinking I was going to be gone a long time. But turns out I wasn't taking care of anything very well, so it didn't matter.
Right.
And I wasn't gone that long, so.
Well, so let's see. Okay, so basically you just went with a detox at our home away from home, Summer Sky in Stephenville. They were gracious enough to have you back as a repeat guest.
Yeah, a little recidivism for Summer Sky.
Yeah. And then so now I know you're living out in Stephenville currently, doing that. Were you thinking about possibly doing, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but were you thinking about maybe going to like a sober living situation, or are you in your sober living situation currently?
Yeah, I think I'm in my sober living situation. So yeah, well, going into treatment, I didn't really have a set plan. I just knew what I was doing before wasn't working, so I wanted to do something different.
Right. To say the least, right?
Just as an FYI, I'm losing your audio a little bit, Kelly.
Oh, no. I basically said things weren't going the way you planned, to say the least, is what I said.
Yeah, well, I mean, if I really want to get, I mean, like, to tell you the honest truth, I can make light of it and make jokes, but
sure.
Honestly, what was going on was things were going pretty well for a while, and I got busy. I tend to do that, and what I mean when I say that is I start to put priority on things that are not recovery. I put a little bit too high a priority on work and money and this and that. And before you know it, getting drunk or getting high sounds pretty good. And then I do it. So, things went well for a while. It wasn't so much that my plan was a bad plan. It was just my execution of that plan was not good.
Right.
I have to stay pretty diligent, and I have to stay pretty diligent for a while. So
you mean
anyway,
like diligent, like forever? Like perpetually diligent. I mean, because that kind of seems like, I mean, like to me, it kind of seemed like you got and you kind of alluded to it, but that there was, some complacency on your part, and your recovery did not take a front seat like it should have been, right?
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. And I think that, if anybody's listening and feels like they're in that place, be very careful.
Yeah.
Be very careful. That kind of stuff, it wasn't something that I was necessarily even aware of that was going on, It seems like the right thing to do to work really hard and make a bunch of money. It seems like the right thing to do to try and spend time in this area or that area. But where and how I balance my time is just part of being an alcoholic and a drug addict. I have to make sure that the time I spend in recovery and de-stressing and things like that, I have to make sure that there's time allotted for that. Otherwise, I'm in trouble. So that's kind of what happened, is I didn't spend enough time doing that. But yeah, I'm in Stephenville, not far from our sponsor, Summer Sky. In fact, I'll be there later today.
Oh yeah. You're gonna do the speaking to the inmates, as we like to call it. So
speaking to the inmates, not as a patient. I get to go home today, which is always good.
Yeah, no.
I may or may not throw that in their face.
I wish it wasn't 2 hours away and I would join you, but that is an ass whip to drive there and back and all that. And I'm way too important for that, Nolan.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I really do love to do that, and it's kind of one of those things. When I was there, and a lady came through with 5 months, I was like, oh my God, how did you get there? 5 months? Shit, 5 days, dude. I mean, really, man. I mean, it seemed impossible to me, and it kind of gave me hope. So I love that they do that now on the regular. And plus it breaks up big book study.
Yeah, it's process. They put it in process now, which is even better.
Oh, that is good. That is good. Hey, well, so Nolan, you're going to stick around, but I don't want to be rude to our guest that was nice enough to join us from his busy electrician career. Master electrician. Let me get that correct.
You better throw that in there.
That's right, dude.
Throw that in there.
This is Sean Dunn, and he has a fantastic story, like we all do. He is, would you say? I mean, you, as far as your recovery, NA is probably the most prominent tool in your toolbox.
It is, and I go to a lot of different 12-step fellowships. I find a lot of solution. I find a lot of diversity. I find a lot of tools, a lot of everything. But my home is in Narcotics Anonymous. That's my home group is in Narcotics Anonymous.
Now, okay, so I always want to say this, like, with NA, because I actually went to a CA group last night, which is Cocaine Anonymous. But NA Anonymous is not just exclusive. You don't have to have done narcotics. I mean, you can be an alcoholic and show up, right? Y'all aren't.
Well,
y'all aren't gonna kick us out.
Definitely not. And,
Right.
and in Narcotics Anonymous, we consider alcohol a drug.
Okay.
So that would be inclusive. So it's all inclusive. It goes anywhere from a junkie to a little old lady that goes around to different doctors to score pills.
Sure.
So I mean, it doesn't matter what or how much you use. It's just what it's about. Having the problem of addiction.
Sure.
The ability to start, but not the ability to stop.
Right. I like that. That's deep. Well, I guess, do you want to, kind of go ahead and, we've got some time to kill.
Okay.
So I want to hear a good story. And I know you were talking about, relapse, which basically, the professor is currently dealing with, and it's like reality TV here, but let's go ahead and start us off from when you were a young Shawn and all that good stuff.
And I can definitely relate to Professor Nolan's fall, and I can identify in the lack of balance, and then the greed taking over, and that was a part of. I've had a fall, with 10 years clean, so
Sure.
I can definitely relate to that.
I always find that amazing when people go, because honestly, when you're like at 10 years, I'm like, oh well. Come on, you got this. By 10 years, you got it, right?
That's the phrase. I got this.
Yeah, right. And
Whoa.
it is.
If you're saying that, and you're truly an addict,
yes,
it's a bad situation.
You never have it. So it is just constantly the the shadow in the corner or the skeleton in the closet,
it's just always there.
Yeah.
10 years, 30 years, 130 years.
Right.
However long I live,
right.
I'm gonna be that guy.
I gotcha.
It started for me. I guess it was around 6th grade is when I really started drinking.
Mm-hmm.
I drank before that, but between 11 and 12, 6th grade, that's when I started drinking. And I drank once. I had a couple of shots, and I said, well, I got to get good at this. So what I did, I remember going to my father's bar and filling up a 16-ounce glass full of scotch.
Oh,
and
yum.
And I said, well, this smells horrible, so I better drink it as fast as I can. So I turned the whole thing up and got very sick, and I said and I couldn't wait to do it again.
Oh, wow.
And that's the story I've heard from a lot of people.
Uh-huh.
I didn't drink to have a good time. I didn't drink to socialize. I drank to get effed up.
Right.
And that's been the story of my usage. For forever, as long as I can remember, from when I was 11 and 12 years old.
Sure.
And at the age of 13, I remember a buddy of mine telling me, we should go smoke this. I got this.
Mm-hmm.
You'll probably, it's from Hawaii, and you'll probably never see it again. This is an opportunity for you.
Opportunity.
Yes, it's opportunity. You'll probably never be around
it's Maui
again.
Wowie.
Well, I bought it, and I smoked it, and I had arrived. I had. All the thoughts and cares and everything had just kind of got pushed to the side. It became my solution for living.
Sure.
I didn't have to grow up anymore. I didn't have to learn social skills. I could just keep feeding my addiction and just keep doing it. And at the age of 13, I experimented with just about all drugs.
Mm-hmm.
I saved a couple for later. Because I didn't want to be that guy.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But of course the yet.
No, you always want something. You always want something in the bag for later. I understand that.
Right. Now, Professor, do you have anything in the bag for later? They would have to maybe invent some new stuff, maybe.
Yes, I do. This, Kelly, and first off, before I even say that, Shawn, Kelly and I talk, and I don't know how much he's even told you about me, but our stories are going to line up pretty similarly. So first and foremost, I commend you for finding your way back. I know that's not easy to do after some long-term sobriety and a slip. So good job finding your way back.
Yes.
And yes, but yeah, to answer your question, Kelly, I never really did what is that, K2 and DMT and
I thought you said
did
you
plenty
did
of
do DMT and you thought you were an animal.
Well, so yes, I think
you became
it was
a different
DMT.
species.
I was told it was. Yeah, I was told it was, but I'm not certain. Who knows?
Okay. So just in case,
it was from a guy. It was from a guy named Wheel, not Will. You got to say Wheel. Otherwise, he won't answer.
Right.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
And then I did ecstasy, but I never did like just straight Molly.
Okay.
So yeah, there's some stuff out there.
All right, good for
I
you.
did too.
Okay. I was just making sure. He's like the guy that's done everything,
Yes.
and he's addicted to more. So that's what we always say. But I find that fascinating. Thank you for the interjection. And Sean, sorry for interrupting your story.
No, not at all. And the coming back, that was definitely a process, and I had to give a shout out to Texas Department of Criminal Justice for helping me out one last time.
Was that so? Now, did you? I mean, don't gloss over, but I mean, did you go to rehabs or okay? So you were 13, smoking
Yes.
weed, drinking scotch, and then from there you started doing a lot of things.
Yes,
and then where did it become a problem?
It became I had a lot of run-ins with the police and stuff like that.
Now, where are you growing up at this time?
In Richardson.
Okay.
I was going to Richardson High School until the principal pulled me into his office and begged me to stop coming to his school.
The principal. Nice.
He said, please, can you find something else? So, and I did. I realized, I came to the conclusion that it was not going to end well. So,
that you in high school were not a good fit?
It was not a good fit.
Right.
Because I made a career out of the getting and using, and I didn't have a lot of jobs, so my job was selling drugs and doing drugs.
Right.
I found
Yeah.
that the easiest way for me to get more drugs was to just make that my life. And,
Yeah.
That was I was going to parties and just that was my life. And
Sure.
And there was a lot lot in there. I did have a lot of fun.
I'm
For
sure
me
in high school, yeah.
For me to say that I didn't have a lot of fun would be to be being dishonest.
Sure.
And but the reality is, at some point, the consequences, became greater than you can continue to use.
Yeah, sure.
At the age of 21, I had 4 felony dope cases, and they sent me to TDC to get my first TDC number, and they sent me to boot camp. And
literally boot camp or
TDC boot camp.
Okay.
It's up in Childress, up in the Panhandle.
I think I have heard of that program.
And
is that for people in recovery specifically, or just people just trying to get their
kind
shit
of
together?
A behavior modification.
Gotcha.
Had nothing to treat my disease of addiction. I just came out a crazed maniac.
Right.
I was in really good shape.
Sure.
And,
which is great.
I went from
I was cut, dude. I was good. Man.
I went from
just a quick interjection. You still remember your first TDC number?
732-401. Yes, I do.
Nice. 110-0416. Everybody remembers.
Is it kind of like the first person you had relations with, like that kind of thing? I guess. Where you just don't forget it.
It's based on the how many digits are in the number and what the number is. You can kind of gauge when it was.
Right, I gotcha.
Mine was in 1994. And I got out and I was in really good shape, and I went from being a drug dealer to also, I guess I was robbing people for drugs.
Okay.
So it escalated.
Sure.
And I was on felony probation, so they tested me for drugs because I had 4 felony dope cases.
So
the first month I
this
tested
guy
positive.
might be doing drugs.
The second month I tested positive. The third month I tested positive, and the fourth month they violated me.
Wow. So they let you go that long though without
You usually
putting
get
you back
3.
in? Wow.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I stayed out 4 months, and they sent me to Cornell University.
Okay.
Not really the university. Cornell Corrections is the Dallas County Traditional Treatment Center out in Wilmer Hutchins.
Okay, so now I've heard about this, and so tell me, because like I've heard people always mention or the term Wilmer. So it's, you said Cornell University. Expound on that for people like me that don't know.
Okay, so it's a treatment center, and it's in Wilmer Hutchins.
Okay.
So a lot of people refer to it as Wilmer. It's had a lot of different companies, and the company names have changed. So so how it's talked about is different, but a lot of people just refer to it as Wilmer. Or when I went there, Cornell was the people that were in charge. So so that's changed. But
So now you're still locked up basically, and it's a rehab facility or what?
It's they say it's 6 to 9 months,
Okay.
depending on your progress. And the first 6 months was inpatient, and then the last 3 months are transitional, where you go out and find a job and get to work.
Prior to the transitional part, you're still incarcerated?
Yes, for 6 months.
Gotcha.
Plus the wait time to get there, which I think it was like about a year for me.
Oh, there's a list to get into Wilmer.
Yes.
Oh, geez. Okay.
This is similar. This is similar to Safe P, Kelly,
Right.
Okay.
that you've heard people talk about.
Okay. And what did you say? You kind of cut out there. What was it, Nolan?
Oh, Safe P.
Oh, okay.
You've heard people say that before.
Right.
Yes.
You've heard me say it before.
Right.
That's basically what we're talking about.
Gotcha. Well, because I've heard the term, and I've always gone, oh, okay, well, what's it all about? Because there's probably a ton of people that don't even know what it's all about. So, except for you two guys. Y'all seem to be on the same page here.
Hooray for us.
Yeah, right?
There's state programs and there's county programs. This is for Dallas County.
Okay.
So, and the Dallas County Probation Office uses it to get people back on track. And it's a great program. You get out of it what you put into it. If you're serious,
sure.
I mean, you can use the tools and change your life.
Right.
At that point, I was still young, and I was able to identify a lot of things, and a lot of seeds were planted. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about meditation and a lot of different things. However, I wasn't done yet.
Right.
When I got out and the wind blew, I was right back on it. And,
yeah.
And it just blew once. And the day it blew, I went back to prison.
Oh, wow.
And when I was younger, in my teens, I used to call it garage hopping, which was basic.
That's funny.
Me.
I have heard of that and partook of it once.
It's minimizing the fact that it's burglary of a habitation. So my charge was burglary of a habitation. So when I went out drunk one night and decided to go into somebody's garage and take some stuff or
borrow
be associated
somebody's,
with it, it was burglary of a habitation. So I went to do 3 years in the Texas prison system. And,
right.
And during that time, a lot of walking around and contemplating, and I kept saying, I can do this. I'm never going to do this again. And there was no amount of willpower that would ever allow me to have that choice because I'm an addict.
Right.
I've got to treat the disease, and that was something I learned later on. In retrospect.
Sure.
Because I got out of there, and one short time, and I relapsed again, and by this time I'm a habitual offender, which means that my sentence carries more because I have so many drug cases.
Right.
So I get arrested again for 2 more felony delivery charges.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm looking at 25 to 99. And,
wow.
And I'm like, this has got to stop.
Right.
I don't want to spend the rest of my life in prison.
Sure.
That's no way to live. Away from family, away from having any type of relationship.
Yeah.
And it's just no way to live. I mean, it's very sad.
Sure.
And so my attorney told me, he said, you need to figure something out. You need to, if they got some meetings or some type of something in there for you to learn how to better yourself, you need to figure something out, and that way we can come to the court with something better. And so I signed up for the North Tower had a chemical dependency program.
Okay.
And so I signed up and got into that.
And this is at the lovely Lou Sterrett.
Yes.
Correct. Okay.
Yes, Lou
North
Sterrett
Tower.
Hotel.
I knew the North Tower, man.
And so I'm in there, and I'm confused. I'm looking for something different, and Narcotics Anonymous brought a message to the group, and they had people from H&I, which is hospitals and institutions.
Yeah.
It's a division where they go out and they carry the message.
Yeah, and, it's funny that you mentioned that, but I know the professor was thinking about doing that and going to carry the message on the inside. Do you still currently do that, or as part of your recovery? Or?
I am. I've got to wait a little bit longer on my legal situation in order for me to be approved for that.
I got you. Well, what is it?
When it's available, I'm definitely on board, and it's definitely going to be something that's going to be a part of my recovery.
Right. No, and I think that's
sure.
great. I love it. I love to hear, because I mean, it's what inspired you, right? I mean,
Definitely.
or a large part of the inspiration behind, you actually wanting to get serious about your recovery, right?
Yes. A guy came in and he said, at the beginning of every meeting, he said, what is our message? Our message is that an addict, any addict, can stop using drugs, lose the desire to use, and find a new way to live. Our message is of hope and the promise of freedom. And he said that at the beginning, and those makes my the hair stand up on the back of my neck. I mean, those words are so true, because I was that addict, that couldn't stop using drugs, and I needed a new way to live, because I couldn't go on anymore, doing that. I didn't want to spend the rest of my life in a prison cell.
Sure.
So I dove into that, and after being there for about a year, my attorney got me approved to go to Safe P. Okay. So that was a much better alternative to 25 to 99.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I went in, and I was Mr. Recovery, and I was the head of all three units or whatever.
Right.
And I was all about it, because I got fired up. I was a part of it, and I could see the benefits in my life. I was becoming a better person.
Sure.
And I knew if I continued that I could stay out of prison. And it's an amazing process. I got a lot out of Safe P because I was ready.
Right.
Enough was enough. I didn't want to go back.
Sure.
So getting out of Safe P, I continued the process. I did what was suggested. I got a home group. I got a sponsor. I started. That's a 12-step group, which involves the 12 steps. So I started doing the 12 steps.
Right.
And it was a wonderful process. My life changed. I became a responsible, productive member of society.
Yeah.
I got a job, and I was able to go back to school, and I got my master electrician license. I started my own company.
Yeah, well, here, let's go ahead and advertise for your company real quick.
Yes.
What is the company?
It's Epic Electricians, LLC.
Epic Electricians, LLC. I don't know if we have. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Okay, and then they can. What's the best way to get a hold of you?
By phone.
By phone, okay.
Yes, 972.
Oh, okay, here we go. Go ahead, write it down.
339-2322.
Okay, so hit it again.
972-339-2322.
Okay, and he is actually going to come over and give me an estimate at my house for ground plugs. Exciting stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, look at that. Exciting stuff happens in recovery, man.
Definitely.
But so, yeah, okay, so then we were also talking about, I know that you were maybe going to speak, but now that you're not going to speak, but we still want to put some sunshine on what's happening here, what's coming up. It's the Lone Star Regional Convention of NA, and then a bunch of Roman numerals, and I will read the Roman numerals, which is 36.
Yes.
Look at that.
every year for
I learned
36
something
years.
in school. I learned how to read Roman numerals. But yeah, so that's September 2nd through September 5th. And then let's see, that is out at the Hilton DFW Lakes Executive Conference Center. And let's see, where is is there a website?
There is. It's www.lsrna.com.
Okay, so
and you can go on there, and it gives you information. There's registration to where you can register, and also there's a link to getting a room at the hotel for the convention.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, so you can just go ahead and go to events, go to sleep, go to events, go to sleep,
yes,
go to events.
It's a lot of fun.
Speaking of that, I wanted Nolan, you went to, we hadn't talked since you went, but you actually went to the AA convention last week in Fort Worth, right?
So I know you just flagged me to say something. I think it was about the convention, but your audio was cut out again.
Oh,
so.
yeah. Yes, you are correct, sir. It is about the AA convention.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. Look, first off, I'm just glad that kind of stuff is back, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Big gatherings. I don't know. That's just how some people prefer small little groups or whatever. To me, the more the merrier, man. So when you get more than 1,000 people in recovery in one room, like just saying the Serenity Prayer will make you tear up. Like the power in it is amazing. And then of course the speakers are great. And yeah, you were talking about corrections. I went to essentially a workshop on carrying the message into correctional facilities and kind of how to get that done. And some of that stuff's starting to come back. You know, COVID had shut down a lot of that kind of stuff. Going into institutions and correctional facilities in general had just completely shut down. But some facilities are starting to open back up, and I am still about the stuff to get my background approved. Hopefully it will. It may take a second, but we'll see. You know, but starting the process on it. But yeah, the convention was great, and that's cool. You know, that any time in Dallas, Fort Worth, there's one going on, I hope to go. They're a lot of fun. So,
well, it sounds like you need to go to the NA convention as well.
Yeah, well, I'm already planning on going to one in August in Dallas. There's another AA one, and in September. I mean, shoot. And I just missed Lake Whitney. I was busy feeding the beast. So, but Lake Whitney, I had other plans there for a little bit, I guess.
Right.
But yeah, Lake Whitney is an NA deal every year that I used to go to all the time, and look forward to going to again. That's a great one too.
Cool.
So,
yes, definitely. It's a couple times a year they do the Lake Whitney, and it's a great way to get involved and have fun in recovery.
Sure.
Yeah, I've taken a lot of sponsees, you know, to go out, and you know, it's important to learn that we have fun in recovery to make it a part of
for sure.
Of the lifestyle.
Yeah, and I mean anybody looking for sober events or just alternates. I mean to the regular stuff. I always like to give Recovery Dharma, DFW. I love to give them a shout out. There's Skate Straight. Love that organization. They do. He actually does a smart recovery meeting at a skate park, which is cool. And then there's always the Phoenix, and they're always doing sober events. And then, I mean, where you and I met, we met at Sobar Basics. Shout out to Dusty Burrows. And we met out. It was that and the Phoenix combined day at the lake on Catfish Lane and Grapevine, Texas. So that was a lot of fun, man, and I got to meet a lot of cool people, and yeah, I mean, it was just like something I didn't ever imagine myself going to the lake without a couple of cocoa ones, but it was actually fun, and and it was fun without substance,
yeah.
So it was cool.
Exactly.
Well, it's funny, I guess. For whatever reason, addicts and alcoholics are my favorite people. They just are. Prefer them sober, but I've surrounded myself with them in both conditions my entire life. But yeah, just getting around a bunch of people that totally relate to everything you say, no matter how crazy it is. It's a lot of fun.
Right.
So.
Yeah. You and Sean definitely need to get together. But Sean, I had a question for you. So how far out are you to where you're welcome back to prison on visiting terms?
I think it's about a year.
About a year.
About
Okay.
a year.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, cool, dude. Yeah, you'll have to definitely keep me posted on that if you start visiting on the inside. I mean, that's something cool and something real, and it seems like you would have a very attentive audience inside.
Yes.
You know?
And it's it's paying it back.
Yeah.
You know, somebody did it for me for a long time.
Yeah.
So, and it's rewarding.
But it did give you
rewarding.
it gave you a little ray of hope while
Oh, yeah.
while you were inside, right?
For sure.
So
For sure.
that's cool, man. So I mean, we still have a little bit of time, but so like I know you were talking about relapse after 10 years.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I didn't want to just glaze over that.
No,
so.
and there's some pivotal points and things that I need to remember.
Uh-huh.
That way I don't make that mistake again. And
Okay.
so I got the house, the business, the marriage, and all the toys and everything like that.
Sure.
Business is going great, and I start wanting to make more money in the business, and I can remember this. I remember I was sitting in the office, and my wife was at the doorway, and she told me, she goes, I think I'm going to stop going to meetings.
Uh-huh.
And I was sitting there working on a real big estimate for a big job, and I told her, I said, I think I'm going to focus more on the business, and I'm probably not going to be going to meetings as well. That was the pivotal point that led to
Sure.
my ultimate demise. It didn't happen then. It was a gradual process.
Oh, yeah.
It was 2 years later, and
I always like to call that like you had built up like 2 years worth of insurance, so to speak.
Yes. And I was driving, 90 miles an hour with the windows rolled down, throwing all my recovery tools out the window, just left and right.
Yeah.
And when the stuff hit the fan, I had 10 years, I was getting divorced. It was the time of the countrywide thing, so my business was doing not well.
Yeah.
And so romance and finance. I mean, those two things, just totally wrecked my world. And I said, well, maybe I got this. So I decided to go out and do some controlled drinking, and I figured, if I can do it, maybe it'll be okay. And it didn't last 2 months, and I was back to doing the things which got me another manufacturing delivery, actually quite a few of them.
Yeah.
And sent me back to prison.
Wow,
And,
man.
I lost everything, and when I got the charges, I bonded out, and I kept trying to come back in. I just couldn't get it.
Right.
It took me going back to prison, and once I knew I was going to prison, I had this just complete relief, because I knew I had a chance. I knew I had a chance to put it all back into my recovery. That way, when I get out, that I never have to use again, because it's a miserable place to be. I got a head full of recovery, and knowing that there's a better way to live, and not being able to do it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a
Well, I mean, and I always say that's the reason, why I did the show, because addiction is a horrible place, man. And to be a prisoner, and not even in a building itself, but be a prisoner of your own devices, it's awful.
Oh, yeah.
It's awful. So I wouldn't wish that on anybody except for Nolan. I'm just making sure.
No, that's
He's
fair.
awake.
There's probably some lessons I still need to learn. So
Right.
that's fair.
So my lesson out of this whole thing was the balance thing.
Yeah,
I've
sure.
got a lot of things I have to balance. If work's going really well, and I need to spend a lot of time on work, I can do that. Maybe a couple of weeks. Work a lot, but I need to return to that sense of balance. I need to have my recovery. I need to have family. I need to have all these things I have to balance in order to live a well balanced life. Because if I take any of them and neglect them for too long, it's going to put my recovery at definitely in jeopardy. If I become too greedy, and being able to spot these things is why I attend 12-step meetings. Because
and I think that's a lot of it's cool that you say that, because it's a lot of self-awareness and introspection, and you knowing to recognize those signs like you were saying. So.
Yes, because I can't spot self-deception on my own, so I need other people to point it out.
Right.
Say that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Yeah, don't do that.
Right.
I'm like,
not a good
really?
idea.
Sounded good up here.
Because you're 100% right, because I can sit there, all of us really, I can sit there and justify just about anything in my own mind if you give me long enough. I could justify leaving my wife for another woman if you give me long enough in my own head. But the second I say it out loud to another person, they're like, that's wrong and terrible. Don't do that. Like, oh, well, it sounded good when, The last 2 weeks I've been thinking about it, and I really came to the conclusion that,
that it's a good idea.
Or whatever. But, almost identical to your story as well, Shawn.
Yes.
Romance and finance. I had a sponsor a long time ago once tell me, if you stay sober, you're only going to have two problems the rest of your life. Pink and green. And that's a little bit of a dirty way. That's a little bit of a dirty way to say romance and finance. That's it.
Yeah. Well, hey, so while we're here and talking about this, let's talk about where you went for detox, and give our lovely sponsor a plug, Stephenville. That is Summer Sky out in Stephenville, Texas, and that is summersky.us. And by the way, Nolan, I don't know if you know this, but we have become in not only webcast format, but we're also podcast format. So we're across the board. We went through an aggregate, and now we're everywhere, and we're coming for you.
I did not know this. I have information for you that you may not know.
Okay.
So essentially, inside Summer Sky, if you ever decide to return as a patient, you'll be a minor celebrity in there. It's the only place on planet Earth where you and I are celebrities. But inside there, so it was a really nice ego-feeding proposition until the withdrawal kicked in, and then I cared very little about it. But,
dude, yeah, it's funny. You're recovery famous, dude. That's what I call it. But let me go ahead and give out that number real quick. So the number for Summer Sky is 888-857-8857. Once again, that's 888-857-8857. Also, if you want to get shirts for the show, support the show, go to my DJ website. So that's djkellyreverb.com/shop, or there's a shop button on there, and you can see all the groovy shirts and stickers that I have Jim Bob guarding. By the way, everybody always you haven't asked about Jim Bob yet, dude, but it's Jim Bob's my higher power. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. I have the Jim Bob bobblehead here, Nolan. I don't know.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
You always have it.
I love me some Jim Bob.
ever.
No, Jim Bob is a guy that went to Summer Sky with us, and he's just one of those guys that I don't know. You just like him, Just you kind of meet.
Saw him yesterday. He's doing well.
Yeah, that's good. Good. So anything? I know you. Let's see. I mean, besides we got to the NA conference coming up, but anything else, or did I cut your story off, or was there anything else you wanted to?
I don't believe so. I think that's pretty much. I mean, the main things is figuring out where I went wrong. That way I don't make the mistake again, and keeping that balance. And doing it in living in recovery, going out to these different pathways. There's so many different pathways today, and I've been going to the Phoenix events, the SoBar. Me and Dusty grew up together and from high school. So
I bet y'all were quite the tandem back then.
We were.
Yeah.
And so I just get involved with anything I can. The conventions are a ton of fun. Every 2 years there's a world convention. I've been able to go to one when they had one in San Antonio. And I mean, it's just thousands of people. I mean, it's amazing, amazing thing to be a part of for sure.
Cool. Well, and then also want to give your business a shout out. So if anybody wants to get a hold of you for electric work, your number is
972-339-2322.
Okay. And there we go. So Nolan, did you have questions, anything you had, or anything you want to wrap up? Anything you want to surmise in your journey that you would like to impart to the people?
This audio is driving me crazy. I heard you for the first half, but I think I got what you're throwing down. Now, well, first off, thanks for coming on, Shawn. Yes. If nobody else heard it, I certainly needed it. So I appreciate you telling your story. No, I mean, not really. Just, appreciate anybody that's been out there, and, any prayers are always appreciated, but I'm doing okay. I think I've learned what I was supposed to learn from that little slip. Just to sort of slow down every now and then. And we kind of hit on it a couple of times already, but balance is important. And especially for me, I can get out of whack pretty quick. So, but yeah, no, doing well. Thanks for having me on. And
well, yeah, and people. I mean, I would love to, I would love to, if your recovery plan allows, I'd love to have you on the show. I know it's like I said, I know how far the drive is, so, but definitely via Zoom or something, if you can just work on the Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, you know what? I was gonna tell you off air, but I'll tell you on air. I mean, I'm more than happy to stand in every now and then if you need somebody to stand in.
Yeah.
But every Friday, Stephenville to Frisco is probably not feasible.
No, I get that for sure.
But when you need me, I'm there. I care a lot about the show and you. So yeah, you just let me know, man.
Did you just say you care about me, Nolan?
Just a tiny bit.
All right.
A tiny bit.
Well, I love you too, buddy, and I'll just say it, man. But, so if anybody needs any help out there, reach out to any one of us on Facebook or social platform. We're basically telling our message, so hopefully it inspires somebody out there to get some help. And, obviously, if it's gone beyond just talking, I mean, there's plenty of good facilities, including Summer Sky, that are there to help. And I mean, that's what level I needed for it to happen. Because if it wasn't for the rehab and having those 30 days and that window of clarity, there's no way it would have happened. It would not have happened. Go ahead.
Well, that's the level that almost everybody needs.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't need that level, then you're probably not in a spot where you either want to get over.
There is not a problem, right? Yeah. Then enjoy your social drinking, you bastards. Yeah. But anyway, I appreciate you coming on the show, taking your time. And Weston, I think we're going to wrap up, so that would be your cue to get the music ready, buddy. Hey, and everybody, thanks for joining us. Be sure hit our YouTube channel, thispinkcloud.com. Hit subscribe. Good deed for the day. And remember, there is no magic pill for sobriety, because if there was, we would all take too many.
Adios.